Hi, TAKful Creator here. Okay, let's jump right into it. May God the Creator bless us. May God the Redeemer heal us. May God the Holy Spirit enlighten us. Give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to do the work of God. Feet to walk the path of justice, and mouths to preach the good news. May the angel of peace, prosperity, love, abundance, guidance, and grace watch over us and lead us to the reign of God. Ashe. Okay. Can you show me yes, please? Thank you. Can you show me no? Thank you. And that we're on the right track. Much appreciated. Okay, so in this reading, I think I want to start with the Would You Rather cards. I really enjoyed breaking down like random words being put together into true spiritual and divine messages, because this is basically how the world works, and everything that's around us, there's a code, there's a message, there's some kind of symbolism, there's some kind of information, a sign, a synchronicity around in everything that is around us. And what you can do is allow your natural senses, the 5 and then the additional 6, to tap into the energies that are around you to unfold for you what is important enough to look into. And why is it important enough? Because it is meant to assist you in your highest divine calling, your purpose, your mission here in the 3D. Okay? So let's figure it out. Let's start with the Would You Rather card. So we already have one dropped. And what I like to do here, there's and we have it. So what I like to do is okay, I see. So I'm being called to explain here with this card, and then to use these cards for the reading. So what I like to do with the Would You Rather cards, I usually choose 3 because there's 3 different paragraphs on them, and in the order that I have them situated in my hand. The first one I'll read for the first card. For the second card, I'll read the second one, and for the third card, I usually read the third one. Normally what I do is I go and I read over the first portion. For A, it says, be a Siamese twin connected at the soles of your feet. Or B, be a Siamese twin connected at the lips. So I look to see what is the similarity between A and B, because that is the frequency that connects them. Then I see what is different about A and B, because that is what is causing the chaos, the problem, the rift. Okay? By understanding what the chaos is, the problem, or the rift is, now we can better gauge what would be best for us to decide on. Okay? And by using this version of deduction, we are strengthening our overall discernment, right? Games like this is so important to play because they're teaching you, would you rather this or would you rather that, right? In both cases, you have to take full responsibility for your decision. And in both cases, you have to envision yourself going through with the decision that you made. Okay, so it's basically putting yourself in your shoes, obviously, but in someone else's shoes, because you wouldn't choose that for yourself, right? So it is you putting yourself in someone else's shoes. That's what this game is all about. And it's really important to do that because that's how we maintain our individuality while also maintaining a sort of collectiveness. Okay? So that's what's important with these cards. So for me, I see that the combination here is Siamese twins. So what happens with Siamese twins? They are identical, right? Siamese twins is like cats, right? That's what we're referring to. And these cats, like, think about them, like, they don't have much hair, so they are susceptible to the environment. However, they're cats and they're spiritual beings. So what spiritual beings are truly susceptible to their environment without much protection? Either beginners or masters. How do we know? Well, masters, they are ethereally protected, so they don't need to be their own physical protection. However, with a beginner, you need the physical protection. You just don't know how to physically protect yourself. So that's where the vulnerability is. But in either case, either being a beginner or a master, it appears to be some kind of vulnerability. Okay? So then, even with Siamese twins and talking about the level of identical nature here. So we're already supposed to put ourselves in the mind frame that these two, A and B, are seemingly identical outside of being linked at your feet or being linked at your lips. What chakras are attached to your feet? Your root chakra and your solar plexus. Why? You need to have the confidence to move, the confidence to push yourself, and that usually comes from your level of anxiety or lack thereof. Okay, so that's where the solar plexus come in, but your root chakra is really allowing you the personal safety and security to either walk into a situation or walk out of a situation. Okay, so your feet, we're talking about the root chakra, and then your lips, obviously we're talking about the throat chakra, right? Now the throat chakra is connected to what? Well, when you're vocalizing, right, it's in between what two major organs that move your body? Your brain and your heart. Okay, so what are the chakras that are attached to that? Well, your heart would be your heart chakra, obviously. And then your brain, we're not really talking about you allowing information in. That would be your crown chakra. We're talking about you synthesizing the information, you understanding what that information means and how you need to apply it to your life. Okay, that's your call to action. That would be your third eye. Okay, so it is the combination of your throat chakra, your heart, and your third eye chakra. So now, would you rather be connected at the base of your chakras or at the top of your chakras? That's what it's asking. What is also asking, would you like only two of your chakras to be manipulated, or would you prefer three of your chakras to be manipulated on the regular? Okay, it's and to be honest, the feet and the lips, like they all the chakras are connected, so it can have emphasis on any of the chakras. However, the three major chakras for the lips were already named, and the two major chakras for the feet, balance of two, was named. Okay, so what would you rather? To me, it's, would you like to walk with this twin for the rest of your life, do everything together, make sure that their decisions are your decisions, because in any case you would have to deal with the same consequence or recompense for whatever action is given due to the decision that was made. Okay, or would you prefer to speak, only feel and process information like your twin or divine counterpart? Okay, would you like to walk the same path, or would you like to feel the same thing? To me, this could also mean business. Would you prefer, you know, let's say you're romantic, let's say twin flames. We'll say Siamese twins or twin flames in this particular reading, right? Would you prefer to work with your twin flame every day and have the same career path and hobby and mission and purpose in life? Or would you prefer to be emotionally tethered to that individual, right? Be spiritually, emotionally engulfed in each other, to where your career paths and your hobbies are kind of different, but there's this ethereal, this more than life type of feeling, this energy transfer that holds you together. Or would you prefer your interest? All your hobbies are the same, all your likes are the same. You might feel differently, but at the end of the day, anytime you want to do something, you have a partner to do it with, right? Regardless of how you feel. Now, to me, I often don't like to choose for people. You know, it's important for you to choose for yourself. But for me, I would choose to be attached at the lips, because having that emotional and spiritual connectiveness that connection, that's 5D connection. That trickles into the 3D. You get what I'm saying? That controls the 3D. So in essence, when you have a problem with someone at, let's say, a store or something, you don't want to speak to a regular employee. You want to speak to the manager. You want to speak to the boss in charge, right? That's how I feel it is with the lips. Like, I want to speak to the boss in charge. I don't want to have to, you know, deal with all my emotions and all this stuff that is not tangible, that's really bigger than life, by myself, and then all the stuff that is tangible that I can ask any random person to do for me, or whatever the case is, that to be connected to my twin flame. Like, no, personally, no. Now, in an ideal world, the purpose will align with the emotions, and that's a divine, true counterpart. But what we're talking about is twin flames, right? We're talking about emotions. And most twin flames are emotionally driven to one another, but they don't stay with one another. Okay, that's where the divine soulmate comes into play, where you are attached from both A and B. Okay, so again, there's tricksters energies with games like this, right? Even though the whole game is supposed to be a trick, there's a trickster energy attached to it, because it's saying, would you rather A or B? In a perfect world, it would be A and B, right? Because your Siamese twin is doing what a divine counterpart would do, which would be in line with your hobbies, career path, and everything, but then also be in line with your emotions and spiritual path and all of that, right? So that is just the overall explanation we have here. I'm just gonna put that over here, because that was just our training session, okay? And then now I'm gonna go into what these cards really look like and flow, and how all three messages can tie into one message, okay? So for one, we have A, have to sport a keychain nipple ring, or have a wardrobe that consists entirely of outfits worn by Scooby-Doo characters. Okay, so let's start off with B. Scooby-Doo characters. Realize that each character's clothing, the color scheme, and how they paired their clothing is signature to how the characters showed up in the show. Okay? Daphne looked like a beauty queen. So anytime she walked into any place, she was the focal point, right? The attention was set on her. This is important because what are they doing in the show? Making things known, putting intention on things, right? She is the voice of reason. She is the overall caretaker here. She's making sure that the emotional aspect is in line, right? So when you're thinking of something that is beautiful, and that's what we're going to associate with her, because her style was very chic. She had the skirt and the jacket. She always had makeup on, and she was meant to be, in a sense, like a beauty queen, right? But she had street smarts. A beauty queen with street smarts. Okay? Her clothing was, I believe, purple and pink. And purple is divine. It's kind of regality and leadership. And then you have the pink, which is confidence. What is she other than confidence and showing that she is a natural born leader based on more than just her attire? Because although she wore a skirt and all this other stuff, and it seemingly showed like her curves and stuff, like a subtle sexy thing, she was fully clothed, right? All the real no parts were covered, so it shows a bit of responsibility and respect that she has, right? Then you have Velma, who had more of the orange and I believe the orange and like reddish orange and pink. Now orange is where you have to assert and push your notion, right? She's smaller in stature. She looks like a geek in a sense because of the glasses. Like, she's just very knowledgeable. That's what she appears to be. And with most people who are knowledgeable, they are introverted, so they're not expected to speak up, and they're not expected to really push their point in a way that someone like Daphne could, because she has the popularity and stage presence. Or what is it, what's his name, Well, I'm missing mixing up the what is it? It's sheesh. Fred. Oh, I don't understand. Now, no, I understand why I couldn't remember Fred. That's not a name that I truly care for. But I'm sorry if your name is Fred, but I'm not in another regard also. But so Fred, yeah, like he's a jock, right? So his color scheme is blue. It's white. White, symbol of purity and innocence. Kind of like with most jocks, like they seemingly don't know as much as everyone else. The maturity level is dilapidated. A lot of times they say it's because of like the concussions and stuff, so they're mentally and emotionally regressed, or it's because, you know, they don't really care about school as much. They're more physically inclined, so they just seem more immature, right? However, he has a bit of orange there, so even though he doesn't know as much, he still will assert himself and let you know his thoughts. It's just a little bit more subtle because he doesn't have the evidence or experience or knowledgeable backing that Velma has, okay, with all of her orange in her dress. Okay, and I also want to note with Daphne that in some works she's purple and pink, and in other works she's purple and green. And the green is a symbol of luck, a symbol of growth and expansion. And that's really what she's about, like just being a fashionista, which is based on her dress, and just how she pairs her accessories and stuff. It's, I don't want to say that it, you know, her elegance, her grace makes her lucky. But it's only a little bit of luck because when you're regal, you must have awareness of all. And luck often happens when you don't have awareness. Okay, something works out for you and you just weren't aware of it working out for you. Okay, that's kind of what luck is. So for someone who is hyper aware, there's times where she's maybe a little bit absent-minded. So like she's susceptible to talking to the villain, right? The villain's trying to get at her, or she's in the wrong place at the wrong time or something like that. But then she quickly realizes and intuitively moves to the next destination as she's supposed to, right? So that's where we get the Daphne, you know, her color scheme. Now, talk about the green, we're going to go into Shaggy. Shaggy's wearing nothing but green. He's known as a pothead. There's the green right there. And then he's also known as someone who is lazy. Green is a color of repulsion. The type of green that is used in a shirt is a color of repulsion. Like I discussed, kind of like snot. Think of snot, right? And then you also have like the fact that his clothes were really baggy on him. Shaggy, baggy clothes. It also lets you know that he was kind of absent-minded, right? No one expected him to show up in a way that offered a lot of help. He was more of a physical vessel, kind of like a lookout. So that's where the green comes into play, because even though it's kind of repulsive, it's like, look at me, so that instead of the energy attaching to Daphne, because Daphne's the leader, the energy can attach to the lookout, and then Daphne can lead the rest of the crew to protect Shaggy with his luck that's already going to protect him, and just the overall collective, the citizens of the area. Okay, and then we have, you know, Scooby. Now Scooby, he has a lot of the color schemes that are there. He has the green, that's kind of like Shaggy, where he has that bit of luck. He has a bit of blue, like Fred, which offers that healing nature that, okay, you know, even though we're an investigative crew, you don't have to be the smartest person in the world to be able to uncover and help people to uncover truths and help people to be their best selves, right? That is his level. Like, you can just walk into a place and be pure and vulnerable and be able to transmute energy just as well as being the most brilliant person in the world, like Velma with her orange, right? Or having the best discernment in the world, like Daphne with her purple. Okay, Scooby-Doo offers that grounding nature, that brown. His whole entity is brown. It's grounding, right? At one point I thought it was like, you know, the racism in the time period with the TV shows. Like, instead of them actually putting a black character in there on repeat, they put a dog, because in most TV shows and media, there was a token black person, because that they were the loyal friend or the loyal embodiment to the white person, as if it was like a companion, like a dog, right? And so in Scooby-Doo, they, instead of symbolically expressing that, they fully expressed it by just making the one black character that would be in the TV show the dog, right? Now, they were able to escape a lot of racism throughout the years, but for someone like me that, you know, knows the real, it was still one of my favorite shows. I'm gonna leave it alone. So yeah, he offers a bit of grounding, and then he has black in him, right? Or black, obviously black in him if he's, you know, the black character here, but like black nose, black spots. Black is a symbol of secrecy and privacy. He had the ability to understand humans in a way that humans could also understand him. He was able to speak words at certain times. And having a talking dog, you know, maybe Scooby didn't know as many words as all the white people in the show, but Scooby, like most black people back in the day, had a form of education. It may not have been in an actual principled school system or really good home training, but it was to teach you how to survive in a certain society, right? So in order for Scooby to survive in this society, you know, fighting crime and everything, he has to adapt by learning a few choice words so that they can understand his excitement is not always fear or to attack someone. His excitement could be for alert, to be for caution, for other people's safety. Okay, and again, that is the whole paradigm of black people constantly teaching white people that, you know, even with 400 years of slavery, no one is plotting on the collective white demise tomorrow, you know what I mean, or in the future. We're plotting on the collective ascension. All right, so here we have a wardrobe that consists entirely of outfits worn by the Scooby-Doo characters. So you would constantly embody these different stereotypes. Or have to sport a keychain nipple ring. So a keychain often has keys on it. Metal on certain parts of your body can be used as a way to transmute energy or to assist your body in protecting itself from certain energy, right, as a way to repel. So your nipples are one of the most sensitive parts of your body, obviously, because of what they're able to do for women, but more so they are they're sensitive in that way because they pick up energy. So that may have some form of toxicity in it, right? So for example, if you feel sensation in your butt cheeks, that could be you sensing other people's sexual energy in a way that, you know, doesn't view you in the highest light. But if it's your nipples going, and if it's like your left nipple going, it means that spiritually they are connected to you. The frequency is right. You guys are telepathically on the same accord. If it's your right one, you know, you may not be on the same accord in some regard, but the connection is there. The chemistry is there. Even if you don't act on it, that chemistry, even if it's not like sexual chemistry or romantic chemistry, that chemistry can be used creatively in business or in sport. It could be like you could be best of friends by having that chemistry. It doesn't always have to be romantic, and that chemistry can happen with the same gender, opposite genders, or same age group, very large gaps in age. Like that chemistry can happen in different ways, and that is your right nipple kind of going, right? So if it's saying sport a keychain nipple ring, it's like, would you prefer to stop that intimate connection that you have with people, like automatically repel that intimacy away? Or would you, and how do you repel other people's intimacy? By you not accepting yourself being vulnerable with others, you not accepting giving to others and others giving to you in a way that is, like I said, vulnerable, right? And then we have, you know, or try on all these different clothes all the time, be everybody else's character and never really have your own character. Okay, so for A, you want to be yourself, but in you being yourself, like, you have to navigate and understand how to transmute your own energy enough to allow yourself to be vulnerable with someone? Or would you prefer to just wear a different hat at every interval so that you can play everyone else's part, opposed to understanding what your part is? Okay? Then we have 2. Relax in a jacuzzi of strangers' saliva, or have diarrhea in a gravity-free chamber.